In today's video, we are setting up a complete optimized Docker WSL2 Windows subsystem for Linux backend. I'll show you the exact advantages for multi-agent workloads, the prerequisites you need on Windows, the difference between WSL2 versus Hyper-V installation, and pro tips to ensure a smooth local-first workflow. Let's get to it. Before we touch the terminal, let's understand why we are doing this. For our specific purpose, which is running local multi-agent systems and large language models, so that if your AI hallucinates and goes out of its way, your host computer stays safe. So, your choice of virtualization engine changes everything. Now, let's take a quick look at Hyper-V, the traditional sandbox. Now, the good. Excellent isolation. It runs Docker inside a strict, isolated virtual machine. If an autonomous agent goes rogue, it is completely trapped in that virtual machine block. Now, the downside, it is a resource hog. It requires a static RAM allocation, meaning if you give it 16 GB, that memory is permanently stripped from Windows, even if your models are idling. Worst of all, passing your NVIDIA GPU, for example, into a Linux Hyper-V virtual machine requires incredible complex kernel compiling and script hacks. Without it, your large language models, for example, via Ollama, runs entirely on your CPU, which will make it very sluggish compared to using your dedicated video RAM. And next up, we have the WSL2, the native AI engine. Now, the good, native GPU pass-through. So, WSL2 includes out-of-the-box support for NVIDIA CUDA via GPU Para-virtualization. CUDA here is an abbreviation for Compute Unified Device Architecture. It acts as a virtual bridge translating commands from AI frameworks into thousands of parallel mathematical operations that an NVIDIA GPU can process simultaneously, rather than sequentially or one by one like a traditional CPU would. So, via the WSL2 configuration, Ollama, for example, can easily tap into your video graphics card. Furthermore, memory allocation is dynamic. WSL2 scales up when your agents are thinking and gives back the RAM to your host computer when your agents are done. Now, the downside, it is slightly less isolated than the raw Hyper-V container. So, now that we are aware of the two variations which Docker provides, let's visit the Docker official website. We can scroll down to Docker Desktop, and right here, we can find the setup for various operating systems like Mac, Windows, and Linux. But before downloading the setup that matches your operating system, it is important to check out the guidelines. Right here on the navigation bar, click on Docs or Documentation, and below, we click on Docker Desktop Overview. Now, on the left sidebar here, under Application Development, we can click on Setup and Install. Then, we can choose the operating system we want to install this setup on. So right here, we'll have the option to quickly download the setup for the operating system we just choose. But scroll below and we can find the requirements for Docker Desktop we can install on our operating system. First off, we have the WSL2 backend, Hyper-V backend, as well as the early access. So our focus here is the WSL2 backend right here. So first off, we are required to have the WSL version 2.1.5 or later. So real quick, we'll head to Windows PowerShell. Click on the search icon at the taskbar right here and type in PowerShell. And here we have it, PowerShell, and we can run as administrator. So right here in our PowerShell, we'll first of all check to see if we already have a Linux kernel active by typing WSL-L-V. It shows we don't have it installed yet. That's why it provides us with some arguments, giving us some guides on how to proceed to install and configure. So we'll be installing the Ubuntu distribution. And here we have it installing virtual machine platform. And almost instantly, we have the notification virtual machine platform has been installed. So it has completed the installation for the virtual machine platform, and now it is proceeding with the Windows subsystem for Linux. And now our Windows subsystem for Linux has been installed as well, and it is proceeding to install the Ubuntu distribution. And now, upon system reboot, it automatically spins up a new terminal window and completes the Ubuntu distribution configurations. And upon setup completion, it spins up a new welcome window, and we can see here, welcome to WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux. Now, heading back into our terminal, we'll be prompted to create a default Unix user account. So I'll provide my username, and I'll as well provide my password. And one important tip, when typing your password in here, unlike typical Windows or browsers that display asterisks or dots when you type in your password, Linux terminal environment completely hides your input. It doesn't show any characters nor does the cursor move. This is an intentional design choice to prevent shoulder surfing, stopping anyone looking at your screen from knowing how long your password is. So when you reach at the point of inputting your password, carefully make sure you type in the same thing and press enter and type in the same thing again, and you successfully update your password. Now, with that out of the way, let's head back into our browser and proceed with the next requirement. So, to install the Docker desktop, you will need at least a Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system with the Enterprise Pro or Education versions or higher. To enable the Windows Server Service LanmanServer, let's launch a new PowerShell window and run as administrator, and we can provide a one-line command: set service name LanmanServer startup type automatic status running. And just like that, we have it set up. And right here, we can as well set our default WSL distribution to Ubuntu. And we have the notification, the operation completed successfully. We can as well type WSL-L-V to check our current distribution version. And here we have it, the Ubuntu distribution version 2. Now we head back into our browser, and the next requirement is to turn on the WSL2 feature on Windows, which we have already done in our PowerShell command when installing the WSL2. And now, the following hardware prerequisites are required to successfully run the WSL2 on Windows 10 or Windows 11. A 64-bit processor, an 8GB system RAM, and enable hardware virtualization in BIOS or UEFI. Quick tip here on the RAM aspect. Even though it requires an 8GB system RAM, in order to run Docker, your large language model provider like Ollama, and your large language models locally like, for example, Google's Gemma 4 by DeepMind, DeepSeek, or Qwen, this will require at least 16GB of RAM, but I recommend having at least 32GB of RAM upward. And to enable the hardware virtualization we see here, most time this is already enabled by default. And to confirm, you can right-click on your taskbar and click on Task Manager. And in your Task Manager, you can navigate to Performance. And under Performance, we can see here virtualization status is set to Enable. And if you don't have this enabled by default, you can reboot your system and you can set that up in the boot menu configuration. And now, with all the prerequisites out of the way, let's proceed to install our Docker desktop. So we can scroll back to the top and we can see the various sources we can use for our download. So we can directly download the executable setup file via this link, or we can head to Microsoft Store and download from there. I'll proceed to download the executable setup file, and upon clicking on download, we can see here it's about 609 megabytes. Upon download completion, let's head back into our terminal and run a quick command. So we are checking our current Docker desktop version to make sure we'll be running a clean install. So it shows the term Docker is not recognized because we currently don't have Docker installed. Now we'll head to our download folder or our download directory and launch the Docker desktop installer. And here, make sure to check the box use WSL2 instead of Hyper-V. And as well, you could check the box to add shortcut to desktop, and we proceed to install. And right here, we have our installation in progress. And just like that, our installation is successful. And we have the Docker desktop shortcut. And here, we'll be prompted to close and restart our device. Upon system restart, we can launch PowerShell and verify our current installed Docker version. And here we have it, Docker version 29.6.1 build. And just like that, we are good to go. Now, let's launch the Docker desktop app itself and complete our configuration. So here, we'll be prompted to agree with the terms. Right now, we are in our official Docker desktop app. Now, click on Settings or the gear icon right here and navigate to Resources on the left sidebar. Navigate to the WSL Integration tab and right here, toggle the switch on for Ubuntu and click on Apply and Restart. And just like that, our Linux shell can now natively control Docker. To confirm our Docker desktop installation went on smoothly, let's launch a new PowerShell window and run a test Docker container. So I'll provide the command docker run hello world. So first, it shows unable to find image hello world latest locally, and it proceeds to pull the latest hello world library. And we can see here pull complete, and it shows us a notification hello from Docker. This message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly. And just like that, we have successfully installed our WSL tool Docker AI Sandbox. And we can head back into our Docker desktop application to confirm. So right here, we can close this window, and under containers, we can see the Hello World test container. If you find this video helpful, do well to support our efforts with a like and subscribe. Also, you can check out the next video on how to set up the official OpenClaw gateway inside our Docker AI Sandbox for autonomous agentic tasks. Link at the top right of your screen, also available in this video description. See you in the next video. Cheers!